Founders, you're not stuck because your idea is bad. You're stuck because your AI won't do the last 10%, and you're about to rage quit in slow motion. So you know the moment. You've prompted it like 47 different ways. Perplexity, ChatGPT, YouTube tutorials. Your energy leaves your body. The project dies right there on your laptop like a Victorian child. Danny Newman is building a simple fix, ondemandhuman.com. It's a tap a button, get a real expert marketplace for when vibe coding hits the wall. You're mid-build, you request help, and then you get matched in real time on Zoom with somebody who actually knows the exact tool you're using. Pay per minute, stay in flow, ship the thing. And here's the founder use case that's sneaky powerful. Use it like an instant office hours for your entire startup. Any moment where a 15-minute nudge saves a week stall. So ask yourself, what would your business look like if you never lost flow and you stopped waiting for permission to build? Welcome to AI for Founders. I'm Ryan Estes. If you're a founder, CEO, or idea person trying to ship faster without hiring a whole team, in this interview with Danny, you're going to learn how to protect momentum, turn community into distribution, and stop letting friction decide your roadmap. And if you got a second, go to aiforfounders.co. If you want the playbook before your competitors discover it and act surprised. This is the newsletter at aiforfounders.co. Subscribe so future you can feel smug in Q1. It's free, it's sharp, and it saves you from building the wrong thing confidently. Also, if you love this podcast episode, leave a review like you're tipping your future self for not quitting. If you're a founder and you know you should be everywhere, but your calendar says absolutely not, kitcaster.com is the cheat code. We book you as a guest on the exact podcast your customers already trust. You show up, tell your story, and we turn your interviews into a content engine that feeds LinkedIn, your newsletter, your sales team, and your brand. No sketchy PR spray and pray, no random shows, no wasted time. Just high intent audiences, real conversations, and consistent distribution that compounds. If you've got a real product and a point of view, Kitcaster helps you become the obvious choice in your category. That's kitcaster.com by Moburst. Danny, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely my pleasure. Now, I want to start this off with a little bit of an intro. You know, people say you should never meet your heroes, and I think that's probably true. But in this case, I've gotten to know Danny over the last year or so, and I think it's been extraordinary. And I want to explain to the listeners why Danny is my hero. One reason, everything Danny does is amazing. He's got all these cool projects. But two, Danny's a son of Denver like me, and he jumped onto my radar because he saved a couple of like iconic Denver buildings that mean a lot to me personally. You know, one is my brother's bar, which is Denver's oldest functioning bar and also is ground zero of the beat movement, which means it's ground zero of the hippie movement, which means without my brother's bar, you might not have the Grateful Dead or Jimi Hendrix or these kind of people. You might not have it. Danny stepped in and saved that place, and I love it. The burgers are amazing. Also, another place that's near and dear to my heart, which is the Mercury Cafe here in Denver, largely because that's where I was able to woo my wife, and we've been married for 20 years. And these are the things I have to always give Danny his flowers and embarrass him every time I have a microphone and I'm in front of him, just because I am so grateful for you doing those things. So, Danny, it's been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit.
Thank you. And properly embarrassed over here. Thank you.
But we're not talking about that. We are going to talk about a lot of your projects, though. I want to start with kind of how we met, which was I got this kind of clandestine email through LinkedIn from a gal that I'd worked with. She had a promotions company in Atlanta, was doing big hip hop shows. This is years ago. And she was like, hey, you need to check this out. And it was a vibe code meetup here in Denver. And so I joined it and I was like, oh my God, that's Danny Newman. This is his group. It's so cool. So in that time, you know, this is a bi-weekly, now it's a weekly meetup for people that are just interested in vibe coding. Now, vibe coding has only been a thing for maybe 12 months, you know, but so to think back in like March or April, whenever that was, seems like absolute ancient history. So give us an introduction to kind of this meetup and the momentum it's building here in Denver.
Yeah, absolutely. So about a year ago, Thanksgiving of 2024, I kind of jumped in to code up some projects that I'd been wanting to and thinking about for a while, and was playing with Cursor, kind of a vibe coding, no code, low code tool. And was really excited that I was able to crank out an iPhone app in over the weekend, Thanksgiving last year. And the rest of 2024, I just kept running into people who were playing with all of these awesome tools, all of the things like Cursor, like Replit, things along those lines. And I think the name vibe coding came to be in, I don't know, January, February, maybe even March of this year of 2025, and immediately was like, okay, let's vibe. We gotta bring all these people together. So yeah, February of this year, launched our biweekly meetup, and has been absolutely amazing. Just the best people, the best connections, and just amazing progress to see how far people can go with these tools and how quick. It's just been fantastic to watch. And our community grew from just I don't know, 20, 30 of us at the original meetups to over 300 now that come and join, with about, I don't know, 50 or so joining each week.
Yeah. It's so cool. And to give people kind of an orientation, you show up, it's 5 to 7 on Wednesdays. Everyone kind of gives an announcement of what they're working on, what they see as cool. And then we go straight to demos. And people are just giving demos of what they're working on, getting feedback, positive, negative. I'd say largely it's overwhelmingly positive. And the kind of diverse backgrounds of everybody at this meetup makes it kind of extraordinary because you've got senior developers, you have junior developers, you have artists, you have designers, you have people who've never, done a line of code in their life. You have people just kind of kicking the tires, see what's going on. You have sneaky reps from Apple and all these other big companies kind of coming in the side door, seeing what's going on. And just the energy of the group is fantastic. I love it. I've met great friends from that spot and great relationships. And it's interesting because you have had a beautiful coffee shop there in Sloan's Lake off Colfax, which is an amazing spot, and it graduated to this new spot. And I believe it's the world's first vibe coding co-work space. So when did you start to see the need that you're going to need to build the mothership?
Yeah, I think we saw it pretty early on. Those meetups at the coffee shop were filling the house, and realized that we needed to find somewhere new. I also feel like the energy and the excitement around what everyone was working on, uh, uh, there was this need and desire to do it more. So let's all hang out more. Let's all see each other on a daily basis instead of just every other week. And so, yeah, happened to have a warehouse, kind of at the edge of town. My buddy was storing his cars there, working on them, stuff like that. And over the course of just a few weeks, got that all cleared out for version one of this, and then another month or so of actually kind of getting it all up to snuff as a co-working space. So yeah, now we call it an AI clubhouse, and a vibe coding co-working space.
It's cool. And I love the just the energy. So it's bi-weekly, people are doing demos of products they're working on. And then the alternate Wednesdays it's more for generative and media type meetup. Is that right? People are
Yeah.
making movies and making things like that.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, the full visual and audio creative side of things. So, yeah, amazing movies, music, audio, visual, that whole side of everything. We were getting so many cool demos of that during the weekly or bi-weekly vibe coding meetup, that we saw an opportunity to really dive in and see what people were working on that front. And yeah, just some amazing folks that have been progressing on movies, full albums, all sorts of stuff in the creative realm.
Yeah. Before we get into some of these projects, I'd just love to hear your take on where we're at right now. So we're turning the corner into 2026. There are kind of two camps. One who see vibe coding as some pejorative and are kind of like, oh, that you can't ship real products like that. And then there's the other community that seems to be vastly outnumbered. The other community, which is they're embracing these tools and they're moving very, very quickly. I mean, 3 months ago, the stuff that was coming out, it just pales in comparison to what we've got now. So as you're looking at a 2026, like, where do you think we're going?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of folks have been using things like Copilot, as a jumping off point. Certainly, Cursor, Claude Code, kind of on the traditional engineering side of things. Folks have been embracing and utilizing those, and I think that that is a very smart move by organizations, by teams, by individuals to jump in and really perfect and hone those skills. And then there is the amazing opportunity for everyone else, folks who either have dabbled in code, haven't touched it for a while, or those that are entirely new, getting an opportunity to bring their ideas to life. Folks that would never have jumped in or had any idea how to even start to make an app, make a product, make an idea come to life, and now they can. And so I think that you're seeing this just absolutely amazing mass of people trying stuff that they never would have before. And certainly there's some learning curves. There's folks who have zero programming or code or product experience, and sure, maybe a couple of their early experiments are coming out not so great, but man, they learn quickly and are able to reach out, especially in our community, learn how to overcome those obstacles. And so, yeah, I think no doubt that the high end professionals are utilizing and very much offloading a lot of just repetitive and annoying tasks to these
Yeah.
tools. And then additionally, just opening up a massive opportunity to everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Altman kind of famously for saying it's like the era of the ideas person, which is just a green light for me because, in my projects, I'm usually the designer and the rev ops guy. And then you got to find the CTO, you got to find, I've used, agencies 90% have been awful, 10% absolutely amazing. I
Sure.
want to put that out there. But it becomes very difficult because you have to put your project in somebody else's hands. You got to do all this spec stuff. You're just like, the time I'm wasting. So now I find myself like, okay, I don't need that anymore. What can I do? And I've been going absolutely ham. And it's interesting because those first couple of meetups, where just a lot of the tools were being introduced to me, which is, Replit, Bolt, Lovable, Claude, all these kind of tools. And so I was building the same project on three different platforms with the idea of like, I got to make a commitment here. I went with Lovable. And so building and spinning up all these things very quickly with Lovable. And what's interesting is I have something that's pretty close that I've demoed that I want to bring to market. Problem is there's just certain amount of functionality that I can't get no matter how much I prompt it. And so what I've been doing is now eyeballing a graduation and follow me or let me know here if this is kind of a similar tract. Is it's like getting an MVP, getting the idea, getting a demo together on a tool like Lovable, great. But when it's like, boy, I really want to get this to the next level, what I'm looking for now is I'm looking at Claude Code or Sonnet, where basically I'm like, okay, I need to get into this so I can get it 90% there. Then I can bring somebody in for that last 10%. So when I'm thinking about it, shout out to Brain Grid. That those are helping me get the proper prompts to bring it into Claude Code. But now I'm starting to find myself in unfamiliar territory, which is like, oh man, this is actually I'm gonna have to do some YouTube tutorials to get through some of this stuff. N8N is kind of like that as well.
Sure.
So when you posted to the WhatsApp group about your new project, I was like, oh my God, brilliant, because this is the bridge. And so the project and the tool is called On Demand Human. So give us a quick introduction to that.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think, especially being a part of this group and this community, it's folks are able to crank out these products up to 80, 90%, and then just something you get stuck on, and it's that classic, you don't know what you don't know. And there are plenty of people who are out there that can help and fix problems very quickly, who have done it. They've been there before, or even down to the product level. Like, Lovable does it this way, or Replit does it this way, or each platform has a different way of approaching these things. And so I saw an opportunity to vibe code a product called On Demand Human, where while you're in your flow, while you're coding, you can quickly request some help from an expert in the particular application that you're doing. So if you're using Lovable, you come to On Demand Human, say, I'm working on this project, I'm stuck here. I'm on, you select Lovable from the list. You give it what your max payment is. So, $20, $15, $50, whatever it is that you feel kind of the need, works out to, and request a helper. And we match you real time with somebody who is, they're probably working on their project, or they're waiting for something else, or, they're in between projects, and they can go online and real time get connected through Zoom with a screen share, and even the ability for the helper just to even take over your screen if necessary, and if desired, and quickly, within, call it 10, 15, 20 minutes, hopefully guide you through your issue. So yeah, it's kind of a cool marketplace, where helpers are able to utilize their expertise for some quick cash. It's not something that they have to sit there and look through all of those different job postings, links, things like that, and do it that way. It's just kind of a quick helpful session.
It's brilliant. It's such a great idea. I mean, the hole I found myself in was like literally because I'm in Lovable. I'm trying to get the survey attributes from the survey to filter a database and give response. And I mean, I've done that that prompt a million different ways. And I was literally sitting in a position where I'm like, well, man, maybe I just wait and the capacities will update in 6 weeks or something. Like just like praying to the AI gods, like, please make this easily available. And now I have a better path, which is like, okay, I need a graduated tool. I need some resources I can have hand. And also like I need to talk to a person,
Yep.
honestly, just somebody, because I know a lot of the stuff I'm doing is like, hey, you could start with apology, dude. I just get me started here, man. Just get me in place. And it's perfect for that. It's perfect for that. And so it feels like there's a place to go because, chatting with AI is as far as like conversations go, I feel like the escalation of frustration and anger goes much faster with AI bots than it does with a person.
Right. Yeah, and I even see this as kind of like a virtuous cycle. So somebody who, was struggling 6 months ago now knows a lot about any particular platform, and so now they can offer their maybe more junior services
Sure.
back on the platform. And so yeah, once you figure out this database issue, you are now, kind of elevated to that next level, and can help others, kind of looking for and needing that same type of help.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like it's that idea of, if you just kind of came up to the next floor, you're the best person to help the next guy up.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, get me into Claude Code, get me synced with my Git, get all this stuff all together, and like just give me an orientation to get going. That's where I need, and that's where I'm going to use, on-demand human. And then at that point, I'm signing up. Be like, oh, I could be a helper. I have one very specific task I can help you with, but
Exactly. Yeah.
but let's go. Cool. How did you kind of identify this issue? Did this come up in like the meetups?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think it was, man, hey, I'm working on this one thing. I keep getting stuck in this, kind of prompt cycle and can't figure it out. Or, yeah, just seeing all these, kind of requests and stuff like that. And, knowing how frustrating it is to like lose your flow and lose your rhythm. Because, I think Fiverr and Upwork and things along those lines are fine, but that's a multi-day, if not longer, process of posting what you're looking for, trying to find somebody, weeding out everybody. And so was trying to think of what a cool inflow version of this would look like. And um, just, hey, let me ping the the person who can
Yeah.
answer this particular question. And I think my initial thought is obviously through these vibe coding and AI tools, but I think it works for for Figma, for any Adobe products. Hey, if you're working on your car, need help with your with your spark plugs. I don't know, things it could go really far ultimately, but saw this real need and opportunity right now where if you're not solving this problem while you're in flow, it's just going to sit and the project will never get done. You'll get distracted and not want to finish it. And so I want to keep everyone excited and able to finish the projects that they're working on.
It's the ultimate resource for, hey, can you just real quick?
Right, exactly.
It's like, it's not real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna use this because it's the holidays, and I'm sure it happens to you. You show up, you see your family. They're like, "Oh, Ryan, you're in tech. Can you
Right,
help me with X, Y, Z?" It's like, "Oh God, I don't know about fax machines,
right.
but let me hook you up with on-demand human."
Exactly, exactly.
Cool. And also, we want to put the message out here that you're looking for these helpers.
Right, right.
And talk a little bit, you've explained a little bit about kind of the attributes. These are people that are working on their own projects and just there's kind of a queue. They can just come in, accept a queue, hop on a call, help somebody out 15, 30 minutes, something like that. What are kind of the attributes you would love to see of the people that are helpers signing up for the service?
Yeah, I think we've got a broad list of overall kind of qualifications, but somebody that's an expert in whatever they are signing up for. So don't go beyond what you are an actual expert in, or at least can help with help. And we can make it really easy to log in via your GitHub login. We can pull down your code bases, see what languages that you've got in there, analyze that as well as whatever you put in there. And then it's all also based on what your hourly, or sorry, your minute rate is. So, 25 cents a minute, $1 a minute, $3 a minute, whatever you want
Yeah.
to put in there as value, and are able to set browser notifications as well as email. And so as these requests are coming in, you get a ping if you want them. If you want that, you can also just browse the requests that are coming in. And kind of like a Uber or Lyft, first person to grab a particular request gets it. We filter it based on all sorts of different attributes of the request and how we can identify it. So we're trying to narrow the potential pool of helpers down to just the right amount. But that said, first one to grab a task wins.
Cool. And it's an interesting model. How did you kind of land on price per minute?
Hopefully we are, cranking these things out really quick, but also wanted it to feel like you're able to to solve problems that quickly, but also get problems solved that quickly.
Yeah.
And it's full transparency to both sides of what they're getting paid or what they're paying. And felt like a good and fair system. And also, I think there's plenty of people who would never, go on Fiverr or Upwork, developers, engineers that would never want to jump on there because it's kind of a full-time job managing what that flow looks like, what those kind of incoming, inbound opportunities look like. And that's, I think there's a certain type of organization or developer who's looking at those types of platforms. I wanted this to feel fun and easy also on that side. So, I've got 30 minutes right now. Let me make myself available and just see what comes through. So, it's more like office hours or something along those lines than, kind of a full on, side gig.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this turns into good side gig money for for the folks that are helping, but also could be pretty casual and just fun.
Hey, everybody, you know what's crazy? I've been sitting on a gold mine this entire time and I didn't even know it. My Gmail inbox, literally thousands of warm contacts who already know and trust me. But here's the problem every founder faces. How do you turn those relationships into revenue without feeling like a sleazy salesperson? That's exactly why I've been using WarmStart.ai. And honestly, it's been a game changer for my business. This AI platform connects your email, analyzes all your existing contacts, and helps you identify who in your network might actually be interested in what you're doing. Then it writes personalized outreach messages that don't sound robotic or pushy. The best part, you review every single message before it goes out. No spray and pray nonsense. This is relationship-based selling done right. My listeners know I only recommend tools I actually use, and WarmStart has literally helped me reconnect with people I'd lost touch with and turn those conversations into real business opportunities. If you're a founder struggling with outreach, check out WarmStart.ai and use code AIFF to get $50 off your first month. Trust me, your existing network is worth way more than you think. This episode is brought to you by MoBurst, the AI-first growth engine trusted by iconic startups like Calm, Robinhood, Reddit, Uber, and Google. MoBurst is a digital full-service mobile-first marketing agency that helps companies to scale and become category leaders. Whether you're finding product market fit or ready to accelerate growth, MoBurst delivers creative, data-driven solutions that help with scale and efficiency and impact. At MoBurst, we're not just guessing what works, we're predicting it. As an AI-first agency, MoBurst uses cutting-edge tools to analyze user behavior, adapt creative in real time, and uncover hidden growth opportunities. The result, marketing that's faster, smarter, and built to convert. From early-stage startups to global brands, we've helped hundreds of companies overcome complex challenges, unlock new audiences, and optimize every metric that matters. At MoBurst, we believe that creative thinking, advanced technology, and data are the core drivers of success at scale. If you're serious about scaling your business with precision and purpose, it's time to talk to MoBurst. Visit moburst.com and let's build something category-defining together. Yeah, I mean, it's worth doing it for me because just a cool way to like meet people and what they're working on. I mean, I'm just a natural curious person and be like, oh, what's up, man? How can I help you? So it has this like kind of like peer relationship as opposed to like, please submit your form and then, you know, an RFP and then we'll get back to you. And now you're talking to the project manager and you're just like, dude. And it's interesting too that like your emphasis on like trying to stay in flow, you know, which I think as a creative person myself, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. But describe that feeling. What do you mean by staying in flow?
It's man, hard to define, easy to feel. So you know, when you're cranking on a project and you just know, you know, kind of the next step to the next step to the next step, and you know, you kind of get that excitement, you get that energy of, you know, knowing, you know, today I want to finish this, I want to submit this, I want to launch this, I want to, you know, get all the feedback on this project, whatever those are. And you know, I think folks probably like us, you know, we get really excited about something and we're all in until, you know, something either distracts or derails. And, you know, derailing moments suck and they, you know, they knock entire projects offline. You know, if you feel like you should be getting somewhere or, you know, can't quite figure this out, you know, you're going to move on to the next thing because you don't want to do that. So trying to keep folks that are excited about what they're working on, and you know, kind of just in that state of success.
Yeah. Yeah, momentum is so important to the process.
Yeah.
You know, a good place I think probably to check it out is like if you've already gone to GPT, Gemini, and you're on Perplexity trying to be like, how do I prompt the lovable to get this response? And then you try again, and once you're there, you feel that defeat and deflate and the energy evaporate from your body. That's probably when you're like, no, I can pull this out. Like, let me go find somebody, help me out. And they can just be like, all right, man, what are you working on? Boom. And take it. Cool.
Yep, exactly.
It's such a good idea. And, you know, I'm wondering too, if there's aside for that, for, you know, the revenue side, because I've kind of found it, you know, I'm learning all the time and do a couple of demos and stuff with the group, but usually I'm just like kind of a cheering section where I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Ship it. Like, it's like all these guys are on the goal line. I'm like, dude, push it in. Let's go launch it. Let's go to market. Let me help you. Let me go. Let's go. And I think a lot of technical founders, particularly ones that have multiple projects and they're always kind of spinning things. The hard part they have is actually like getting it out there and promoting and selling it, you know?
Yeah, and you bring up a very interesting kind of bigger point here is like we talked about the now's the era of the idea guy, idea
Yeah.
person. It's when anything can get built with these tools, it like the technical hurdles are just being eliminated. Like everything is getting pushed down to anybody can create anything, and so it makes it interesting to be what is going to be a success, how does success happen, and there's a whole new version of what it takes. Like your technical prowess is no longer the defining piece of a startup, of a company, of an idea. It is the marketing, it's the it's how to get to revenue, how to get customers, how to get to scale. I think that that's an interesting new space that we're in now, and definitely going to be in going into next year.
Yeah. And I'd love to get your take on that because, I am just, I think Greg Eisenberg started talking about that. Like the new kind of framework for building products is like you build an audience
Mhm.
and then you select into a community and then you build a product that serve that community. So you have early traction, so you have lots of validation and product feedback. You have just you have your people,
Yep.
so to your point, it's like an idea is not worth anything. Like what can you sell this? And so, that's obviously what, I'm doing with the newsletter and the podcast is just offering a lot of value, learning a bunch, but also just creating trusted individuals that I can create community when I have projects and I spin them out through that. And you've done a fantastic job, not only creating audience, but really creating this community that's very tight knit, So what's kind of like a modus operandi if you're thinking about like a community and kind of what this kind of ID 345 community has kind of become?
Absolutely. And I think it's kind of there in the name too. So ID 345 spells ideas. And I think that it's a community around building and bringing to fruition ideas. I think the dream version of this would be kind of an accelerator, a way for all of us to lift all of us, a way to maybe get some investment coming in, although that is less needed now as well. And maybe it really does come down to building a community known for releasing cool, interesting stuff that people want to see. As we go in, as AI takes our jobs, all of that kind of stuff. Just to be around real humans, and be a real community, building together. And so, again, the dream version is to kind of get this entire community, whatever anybody is building, whatever anybody is trying to push, get as many eyes on it, get that momentum, and really help everyone.
Yeah,
You know, rise, lift all boats.
totally. You know what it feels like? It feels like a indie record label.
Totally.
You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Where
Yep.
like this is the label that you come for distribution and there's different distribution channels within it. And then if you got the majors out there, then maybe it's like, hey, Lovable, why don't you want to jump on some sponsorship train? Then now we're doing content that's brought to you by ID 345, and they're pushing it out as like, hey, look at these guys in Denver. I mean, there's an amazing distribution model right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely the hope. And I think we, like you mentioned at the top, like, we definitely have some secret shoppers that are coming
Yeah.
here from all the big guys. We've got we definitely have had Anthropic and Google and OpenAI folks,
Apple.
yeah, Apple at the meetups, kind of just sitting back taking notes.
Yeah. Totally. We have to kidnap them next time, put a ski mask over them.
With all your secrets.
Yeah, it's super cool and it starts to take its shape. I mean, what I love about the space, there's so much, people are great, but also the space itself there, there's like vintage tools
Yeah.
and vintage furniture, and like and it's a big garage. Like there's all of the hardware from like when there was cars in there. And to me, it's like, a lifetime ago, I was making records and recording and, you know, rehearsing. And garage is always the place that I feel creative,
Yeah.
So it has that kind of feel. It doesn't feel like WeWork where you're in like a human aquarium.
Sure.
It's like, no, you pop up, it's kind of dark, it's got vibes, you're like you're there to chill. It's great.
Yeah, I've been learning, a lot of meetups and a lot of things try to, go to very fancy places, in the meeting room of a steak restaurant, or WeWork. I feel like is a fairly good vibe, but it still has a little bit of, I don't know, feels a little something. But yeah, like the meetups and the co-working, just in a very authentically kind of creative, but not overly fancy, and on purpose type space. I feel like let people kind of relax. They don't need to impress. They don't need to put on a show. They can be themselves, and I think that really helps. And curating, kind of the physical space to encourage that um, is on purpose.
Yeah. Well, it feels like you want to contribute to the space.
Right.
I've got these like rocks that my daughter painted when she was 7, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go sneak these around in the space a
Fun.
little bit. Put googly eyes on the plants because it exudes creativity. And I want to ask that kind of a personal question too,
Sure.
because it is really impressive the things you decide to work on from my standpoint, because there seems to be like a thread of fun that goes through everything. And to me, I had to kind of make that recognition early on that like if the project I'm focused on, it's got to make money, it's got to be of service, but it also has to be fun. Otherwise, I'm just not that attracted to it. I just like to like goof around and kind of have fun with stuff. And the stuff you do all has that. I mean, you were telling me about a kindergarten disco party you threw.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Making
I
that.
you buy these iconic, amazing businesses and then just keep them exactly the same for posterity. Amazing. So when you're thinking about like projects and being creative, like what are kind of the guardrails for you that it has to live up to in order for you to get involved?
I think it's the experience, how I feel about working on it. I should care a lot more about making money. Um, I rarely do. I really, I want things to, cover themselves. And that's kind of the biggest goal I get to. Not necessarily, huge profit off after that. But I also kind of think that helps make things not as stressful. Like, like going into something like, hey, if this can cover itself and be a cool, place for folks to come or to meet people or whatever it is, like that's success for me for sure. I need to at some point step back and figure out how to really make money. But when we're working on these experiences, meetups, physical spaces, events, any of that kind of stuff, like let's just figure out how to not lose a ton of money on them.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because it's like there's a baseline energy that like is how I want to deal with people. I find myself kind of backed into a corner sometimes where I really love people, but also they drive me absolutely crazy.
Right.
It's like there's just always human problems all the time. And truly, like, all I want to do is just goof around and tell jokes and just have a good time. And so, like, there's something about like creating a product and experience where it's baked in that because I think that kind of like fun energy is an elevated consciousness. So you're like meeting people in a place where they're open to fun, open to receiving. They know it's not too serious. We're experimenting here. So that
Yep.
makes it really fun. Do you kind of share the same?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when you put people in a place that where they need to put on a show, where they need to be networking, where they need to be, kind of telling their fancy version of the story of themselves, it gets a little, I don't know, they don't feel as good. I think, another thing that I think we've done really good job of on the vibe meetups is making sure that it's really people working on cool stuff, and it's not, a whole bunch of service providers and a whole bunch of, whatever, trying to promote themselves or their product, which, a lot of meetups unfortunately devolve into.
Yeah.
I think we've kept ours as a secret of society as possible, while still being very open and welcoming to everyone who really wants to be a part of a community like that.
Totally. Yeah, that was my challenge this year is to get out and do a lot more networking groups. So I've been doing a ton of them.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, they're beautiful people, but like you'll be talking to somebody and they're like, "Hey, do you have submarine insurance? Because I'm your submarine insurance guy." You're like, "Oh man,
Yeah. Yep.
dang."
Yep. Yeah, just purely transactional versus the opposite of which is what we try to do of like, let's make true connections and see what happens versus how can I extract money or value out of somebody.
Cool, man. It's that time in the podcast where we're going to go into the lightning round. Are you ready for that?
And I hate lightning rounds, especially when I didn't prepare for anything. Okay.
Well, unfortunately for you, because Danny Newman's here, it's graduating from the lightning round. We're going into the quantum round.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Okay. So you've seen a million ideas. You've got a million ideas. You're working on monetizing them, maybe if it suits you. But like, if you were really dead set on like, I need $1 million idea tomorrow, what would you work on?
$1 million idea tomorrow. What's exciting right now is I think that anything um that you want to jump into on, I think is $1 million opportunity now. Like, I think you can much more quickly get to these numbers. And so, I've got I'm very excited about this marketplace, about on-demand human. I think that that's I think that that's a real one. I think that's a winner. Um,
Yeah,
I think that there's tons of amazing opportunity in any sort of AI wrappers for whatever people are super knowledgeable about. I think that there are huge opportunities to make, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, taking what they know about AI and bringing it to their industry that they know everything about.
I totally agree. I'll offer kind of for the audience too, something that's been helpful for me because, the ideas is not the problem. The
Right,
ideas is the time.
right,
Like there's just not enough time. So for me, I said like it's got to be fun, it's got to make money, it's got to be of service. But the last one is like, am I the right guy right now?
right.
So what I started developing is I just call it the tens. And so if I have a project, I'm not going to really invest time until I have 100 people that have told me it's a good idea and are willing to pay money for it. So what I've got is the tens. And so I'll have a list of ideas, and then every single day I'll send 10 people to for or 10 validation emails to each of those projects. So I'm always just spinning like, what's the temperature of each project? And to your point, it's like every single one is like getting customers and people are like, ooh, I like this. So I really do think that like if people are passionate about something, that last validation, am I the right person right now? And it's the answer is yes, go for it. Like, I mean, it's wide open. Like there's so much opportunity right now. It's kind of staggering.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
More than any other time for sure.
Cool. You're obviously very bullish about AI vibe coding in general. What's the bear case?
Um, I think the reality that AI is coming for your job is very real. I think that that everybody is going to have to, be very flexible and malleable on how they navigate all of this. Um, I think that folks that really embrace and really learn and constantly learn are going to be in an amazing position to keep going. But I think the reality is that machines can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Where's a good place for people to learn? Do you have resources you go to to kind of see what's going on?
I mean, I'm on all the social networks. I love podcasts, and YouTube, and everything. I'm just always consuming. I think algorithms are finally working again at Twitter, and actually presenting good content. Same on TikTok. I think there's some really great stuff there. YouTube is always a fantastic, got interesting shows I'm watching slash listening to kind of in the background at any given time. But yeah, it's that's another crazy one because so much good content exists, and so filtering that is tough. But relying on the algorithms by the big guys seems to be presenting good content.
Yeah. I would love to know if there's like specific things you're always looking for because with the newsletter, like we're putting out a lot of like the major news. It goes out once a week, so it's like there's always some the
Yeah.
Elon, Bezos, Altman, like all the big hitters have to be represented. And the news is great on a high level, but like I got a feeling you're looking for more technical and like useful kind of information when you're looking at kind of what's going on.
Exactly. I think there's, I've been working on a whole bunch of like conversational AI stuff. I work on a lot of generative video projects. And so I'm deep in, kind of getting the updates on which labs are releasing what new models and playing with all of those and stuff like that. So, very, just kind of trying to keep the finger on the pulse.
Yeah, the generative video stuff, the kind of tip of the spear seems like consistency from frames right now,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's like how do I keep the character consistent through like all these different and the environment
Yep.
is
Yep.
yeah.
And that earlier this year was, unsolved. Now I feel like it's very solved. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool how quickly that goes. And right now I think it's over longer durations. And a few models have come out where it really is over really long periods of time. So it's going to be really interesting kind of ending this year and going into next year. I think there's going to be some amazing Hollywood quality products released for sure.
Totally. My daughter is a freshman in college. She's going to Mizzou. What's up, sweetheart? I know she listens to the show. What do you think she should study?
I think about this all the time. I've got a 3-year-old, not that
Yeah.
that's coming up super soon, but I have no idea. This is like the craziest time to try to think about any of this. And I think over the past decade, it's always been okay. Software engineering, like this is it. And I think that that's probably not the case anymore. Maybe, deeper, kind of true computer science, on the, is going to be helpful for a while, but very much, all these models are going to start teaching themselves. So, new information, new human knowledge is not going to be as important on that. So, um, who knows? Building management, or like construction management, building buildings. Real world stuff is going to last for a little while. But looking at all the Android uh, robots coming out that are true humanoids is pretty crazy too. So who knows?
You see that new one? They're teaching how to fight.
Oh gosh, I'm sure.
Dude, it's got like
Terrifying.
Matrix level kung fu. I'm like, oh
Right.
man, this
Yep.
is a terrible idea.
Right. Yeah. No. No.
Don't do that.
We've all seen this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Is there a CEO or entrepreneur that you admire or follow?
Um, Man. That's a good one. I mean, it's awesome to watch everyone kind of navigate this new world, this new space. I think it's really hard to be kind of a absolutely standout, unique. Um, I think everyone is fantastic right now. Like a lot of people leading a lot of these different labs, a lot of these different companies. Um, that one really put me on the spot. I don't know. It's a good one. I'll get back to you
The
on
answer is no.
Okay.
This,
I think it's really cool to watch how people are navigating this whole new world,
yeah.
and just seeing what people are kind of figuring out or figuring out and then removing because it didn't work or whatever. It's
Yeah. Well, and to your point, like with the algorithm now, it's not so much as like the one guy that's like Yuval or like the
right.
guy who's like the
Yeah.
guru
Right.
anymore. It's more like, yeah, the for you on Twitter is like, damn,
Right.
it's just people popping up. It's almost like the hive mind is like always giving like these like cool little tactical like hints and stuff. You're like, wow, this is great. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like
Maybe
every
just
day.
yeah, maybe we need to make a Twitter bot that like, kind of consumes that and pushes it out as their own knowledge every day.
Exactly. It creates a character,
Yep.
entrepreneur guy,
Yep.
genius entrepreneur guy.
First
Nice.
millionaire.
Cool. Kind of wrapping up here, Danny. Thank you again for everything you do for Denver. We all benefit from that. And I know you're also a big proponent and supporter of Food Bank of the Rockies. Maybe talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I've been doing events here in Denver for a long period of time. Started something called the Denver Zombie Crawl back 20 years ago, and Food Bank of the Rockies has always been our sponsor for that. Sorry, we are our nonprofit that we donate to for that. So raise tons of money, collect a lot of non-perishables for them. And especially this time of year, obviously, in big need for donations, and so love everything that they're up to.
Big shout out to them. Are you donating brains? Is that what you're doing then?
That's exactly what the we had big bins set up with that label, so that was exactly how we promoted.
That's great. That's foodbankrockies.org. Shout out to them. Cool. I want to make sure we hit all the beats here. Definitely, if you're interested in ondemandhuman.com of being a helper over there, go check it out. Super cool way to connect with other people and make a couple of bucks in the process. Very cool. I know I'm going to use it. I also want to give a shout out to id345.com, where you can learn about this AI clubhouse, particularly if you're in Denver. Also, if you want to sign up, I think it's letsvibe.org is where
Right.
you can sign up. This is obviously an in-person meetup in Denver every single Wednesday from 5 to 7. And now and again, there's one down south, which is great for me because I moved to the sticks, so I can make that one a little bit easier. But also, if you're not in Denver, like sign up for this and get on the WhatsApp group, because WhatsApp is really where the conversation is going, and it's just absolutely lively and full of resources. And if you have a can you help me real quick kind of question, everyone there is super supportive and cool. It's a really great group. Danny, you created something amazing. Anything else we should mention?
No, that's the big stuff. We are adding the meetups to Colorado Springs as well, starting in January. So if you're in that area too, and we'll probably be expanding to some other locations as well.
Incredible. And what's the best place for people to connect with you individually online?
Easiest is probably just Twitter. I'm at Danny Newman.
Done and done. Danny, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
You betcha. Hey, founders, let me ask you this. Are you building with AI or getting left behind by it? If you're serious about scaling smarter, faster, and bolder, you need to check out aiforfounders.co. It's your go-to resource for cutting through the noise and actually using AI to grow your startup. Each week, AI for Founders drops a sharp, no-fluff newsletter, dives deep with expert guests on the podcast, and hosts monthly workshops where you can get your hands dirty with the real tools and strategies. Whether you're pre-seed or Series B and beyond, launching something new, or just staying sharp, AI for Founders gives you the edge you need to win in 2025 and beyond. Hit aiforfounders.co to subscribe to the newsletter, tune into the podcast, and grab your spot in the next workshop. And it's all free. Build smarter, move faster, think bolder with AI for Founders. Now back to the show.